Hello, I'm Graham Hughes, International Explorer Extraordinaire, and this is Dave Critchley, who's the head chef at the London Cabbage Works here in Liverpool. And today we're going to teach you how to make scouse properly. Alright, so what ingredients have we got? Let's just run through everything now.
So one of the big debates about scouse is should it be beef, should it be lamb? What we're actually going to do today is use a bit of lamb and also a bit of beef as well. So what we'll get is two different textures and also different flavours of meat inside.
So we're actually going to put beef and lamb in the same scouse.
We're going to put them both together.
Next up, onions.
Some nice onions in there, that's part of the base, really important ingredient there. Just some regular mashed pickled potatoes there, some carrots, and we got some swede as well. We've got
What's this? I don't even know what a swede is. What is this?
Again,
is this a traditional thing or is this just you?
No, not just me, yeah. We found plenty of recipes with the use of that swede in.
Well, we've actually doubled up on the vegetable quantity here because we're going to make blind scouse at the same time that we make traditional scouse.
Yep.
Blind scouse is the same as scouse, except it's got no meat in it. Okay, and what are the quantities here? Because we've sort of got, is it 1 kilogram of potatoes?
Correct, yeah. I normally work on equal meat to potato.
Yeah.
And then half that value of each of your different vegetables.
So over here we've got some condiments. We've got some, these are vegetable stock cubes, obviously for the vegetarian option. Got some oxo there, some beef stock cubes. We have got some Lee and Perrins. Is this Worcester sauce? Is this acceptable?
Yeah, well I saw you put some of that in there on your version. It is, very
that's
much
acceptable.
so.
Okay,
very much
good.
so.
Here we've got some HP.
Some
sauce.
brown sauce as well.
But it's actually looks that's like a London thing.
No,
Isn't
well,
that like putting jelly deals in our scouse? What's in this?
That's a bay leaf. So I'm just going to put a couple of bay leaves in there.
Yeah.
In both the blind scouse and the regular scouse.
Is that thing that you sometimes get in food and you put it in your mouth and then you have to pick it out your mouth?
Oh yeah, you don't want to meet it.
Obviously we've got our salt and pepper.
Yep.
Our S&P. And that's it. I mean, that's everything. It's fairly straightforward. We've got a bit of flour here, and we will be adding water to the mix, I assume.
Yeah, of course. When they're browning the meat off at the beginning, I like to use just a little tiny bit of flour dusted over it, which will help lock in all the flavours and also start the kind of thickening process.
So let's go on with the preparation. What do you want first?
So I'll start with the onion.
Okay.
Okay, this is really simple. I'm just going to pop both ends off, topping and tailing as we call it.
Yeah.
I'm going to save these bits. We'll make a little stock out of the
nice.
skins and the peel and everything.
I usually throw all that stuff away, but you should keep it.
Yeah. Especially if we're going to make a blind scouse, because without the meat, you want to get some good flavours in there. So,
cool.
And then with these, quite large, just nice pieces, which will break down into our scouse.
Don't have to cut it with a razor blade like in Goodfellas.
No.
Good.
Carrot next, please.
Carrots. Okay.
And again, so I'm going to save all the skin. And again, it's dead simple. Top and tail. Take those bits off. Pop them in there. Similar size to our onion we've done. We're going to keep all the veg a similar size.
Yeah, so it's quite chunky. I mean, the whole thing about scouse is it is a chunky dish, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing very delicate about it. Do you want swede?
Let's go for swede.
Let's go swede.
So
okay.
just chopped them in half. It should make it easier to peel. This is a bit tougher than your carrot and your potato.
I'm not a big turnip fan, I've got to admit. Turnip and cabbage have never been my favourite vegetables.
Again, I'm just chopping them to roughly the same size I've done the carrot. Okay, so swede's in there.
Okay.
Got carrot and onion. We're left with potato.
Start on.
Quickly show you.
Potatoes.
So we're going to peel them as normal. I'm actually going to prepare this two different ways. Firstly, the potato is what's going to thicken our scouse.
Yeah.
So we want some of it to break down. I'm going to slice some of it really quite thin.
Oh right, okay.
And so as this is cooking, these thin bits will be breaking down and helping to thicken up the scouse for us.
Okay.
And then for the rest, we'll just chop into similar size as we've done the rest of our vegetables.
Yeah.
So you've still got those nice big pieces that everyone associates with a scouse as well. Okay. So yeah, about half and half would be ideal. Then you've got the your thickening agent and also your nice pieces. So you've got a nice mouthful of meat and vegetable and potato in there as well. So that is all our vegetables done.
Yeah.
Pass me the lamb.
Lamb. Okay.
That's that one there.
It's the lamb. Okay.
Okay. So we've got a few different cuts. There's some with bones in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trim some of the meat off the bone.
Yeah.
And chop into just some nice chunks. Stuff that's on the bone, I am literally going to leave it on there. We're going to cook that into the stew so we get all the flavour from the bones, and then we can take it out later when we serve it to people. The meat will literally just drop off that once it's cooked. If there is any small bones, you do want to take them out because they'll just be harder to find later.
And this makes it more authentic, doesn't it? Because obviously
exactly.
back in the day, this was the kind of cuts of meat that people would get.
Yeah, I mean, people who were cooking back then wouldn't have wasted anything, which is why we're going to replicate that. We're going to use the bones, we're using all the trimmings.
I don't know, one of the things that I found when I was travelling was the street food. The cheap food that you could buy in a country was usually the most tasty food that was on offer.
Most of the world's best foods all originated from humble origins, so peasant food. Okay, we'll just put them all in whole. Let's go for the beef next. Okay, so we've got a nice piece of braising steak. Nice. So I mean, you wouldn't serve this to someone as it is. It needs to be slow cooked because it'll be quite a tough piece of meat. And all I'm going to do here is just take the large pieces of fat off around the edge. Yeah. Now we'll chop this into some nice big pieces. So you've got some nice big cuts of meat when you're plunging that spoon into your scouse. Okay, so I'm literally just tossing all the meat together now in a little bit of the flour. Just trying to get a nice coating.
This is something that I've never done before, but this helps with the thickening and also to hold the flavour in.
Yeah, when we're sealing it, the flour will just form like almost like a crust around the edge. We'll lock in all the juices and all the flavours.
Okay, you want very generous salt and pepper?
Very generous, yeah. Okay. Once it's cooked, we'll lose a lot of the salt and pepper. So yeah, be very generous with it now.
I love pepper. Never underestimate the importance of condiments.
Sorry.
Is that enough? That is loads.
Yeah, that's a good amount there.
Okay.
So all the preparation's done now.
Okay.
So now it's time to get everything cooking. The difference between a scouse and like a casserole is it's all in a pan on the stove, really slow cooked. So we need a pan.
Okay. Boom! Hey, exciting.
So we're putting a nice little bit of
olive oil.
This is olive oil, or you can use veg oil.
It's important that you brown the meat first. Is that to seal in the flavour, or is that a health thing? I mean,
I do it simply for flavour. You don't have to place them in. You can literally pour them in, but I'm just making sure each bit of meat has got a good contact with the bottom of the pan.
Yeah.
I'll leave it a good couple of minutes to brown, and then we'll start giving it a stir around. Okay, so we're browning all the meat off. We're getting some nice colours now. I see the meat's going from pink to brown.
Yeah. But won't that get burnt at the bottom of the pan?
No, because what we're going to do, once we finish browning this, we're going to add a little bit of liquid, and we're going to lift it all from the bottom of the pan. And it'll all infuse into the scouse.
It smells really good.
That's good. So you're getting a good smell from all that seasoning you put on there as well.
Wow, that is a lot of Worcestershire sauce.
Okay, now I've got the colour I need. I'm just going to turn the heat down on that.
Yeah.
So it's onto a low heat now. And we can introduce the vegetables.
Okay, so we're going to make some blind scouse after this. So we're going to leave a third of each of the vegetables behind to make the blind scouse. But this is the main event, so obviously we're going to...
That's what everyone came here for.
Yeah, real scouse.
There's no real art to this. It's literally just get it in there.
Yeah. Wow.
The sliced potato, which is going to break down in there. Then also we definitely want some of these big chunks.
Yeah.
Which they'll start breaking down, but they're going to hold the shape as well. I've used two different types of potato before now, so this is quite a floury one.
Yeah.
You can obviously get waxy potatoes as well. The waxy ones will hold the shape and they won't break down.
I always thought that you were supposed to cook the meat for an hour or so before you put the vegetables in because they fall apart, but you don't seem to be too concerned about that.
No. As I said, because I cut the meat quite small compared to the size of the solid vegetables as well. Yeah. And we've sealed them as well. We've started the cooking process earlier. This will now cook down beautifully. Okay, so we need to get some water in there now, and we're going to cover it right up to the top.
Okay, I've just got some water from the tap.
In the meantime, So when I was showing how to make my first scouse, my mother had used these OXO cubes, which are fine. You could also use one of these more modern stock pots, as they're called, or even make your own if you've got the ingredients in. For now, we're just going to pop 2 of these in.
Okay.
I'll just give that a stir. Woo! I'd say come back every 10-15 minutes, keep an eye on it, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom, which it shouldn't do. Now some people could put thyme, rosemary, and finish it with parsley at the end.
Ooh, like Simon and Garfunkel.
The purists wouldn't be too happy with that. We'll turn it up to full heat.
Yeah.
And we'll literally bring him up to the boil. As soon as he comes to the boil, we'll turn him right down again.
Okay.
And then we'll let him slowly simmer then for about 2.5 hours. So
that sounds like a plan. So now it's time for the blind scouse, which is vegetarian.
Our vegetarian version, yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is make a stock out of all them trimmings we had before.
I was going to throw these in the bin, but Dave said no, keep them.
We're just going to dump them into the pan.
Right, you're dumped.
Chop it up with some water, and then we'll just put that on the stove and bring them up to the boil.
That's it. It's just leftover scraps of water.
That's it. And then we will.
Can't we just use vegetable stock cubes?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
But this is more authentic.
It's more authentic, and we're not wasting as much. Basically, we're gonna bring that up to the boil. As soon as it's at the boil, we'll strain it off.
Fantastic. And we haven't actually got anything special for the blind scouse, have we? It's the same ingredients,
it's all the same
the
ingredients, yeah, and without the meat in there, obviously, and the meat stocks.
Now, you were telling me earlier that it used to actually have bone in it originally?
Yeah, it was never designed as a vegetarian dish. The blind scouse would be for someone who couldn't afford meat that week. So obviously all we're after here is the nice flavoured stock. We don't need any of the trimmings or anything like that. They're ready to go in the bin now. Okay, so we'll stick that one back on. Add the stock back into there. There we go. And then we can go in with all the vegetables.
Okay, so that's the onions in there. And then we're putting in the swede and the carrots. That's all kind of floating around in there. That's a lot of water. Is that going to be a problem? Or?
Sorry, because this is going to reduce down a little bit.
Okay. But will it still be a little bit watery? I mean...
And again, the potatoes are going to break down. The thin potatoes we've sliced will break it down to give it a bit more body.
So, this has been boiling away now for about 3 hours. The blind scouse has been boiling away for about an hour. And I think it's time for us to put a little bit of seasoning in.
Spice in your life, yeah.
Yeah.
Which will really lift all the flavours that are in there.
Okay. Some salt and pepper.
Also added secret ingredient.
Ooh, HP sauce.
HP sauce.
Okay, saucy. This is going into the blind scouse now.
Give it a good old stir up.
We could serve this up right now and we'd all eat it. Yeah, and I'll be very happy. But what I would rather do, and I think what you'd rather do, is just let it cool down.
Yep.
And we'll pop it in the fridge overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow, reheat it, and then we'll have the final tasting. Quick cut to the next day. It's next day.
Day 2.
And we've come back and we've reheated the blind scouse and the scouse.
And as you can see, it's also thickened up quite a lot.
That's about the consistency that you're looking for, yeah?
Yeah, that's pretty much perfect. So a really nice hearty stew there.
Wow, and what about the blind scouse here?
That's gone quite nice for a blind scouse.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to, you could add a little bit of corn flour into there just to give that a little tiny bit more thickening.
It smells amazing. It smells really, really good. So should this stand upright? Is that how you know it's done?
Someone once told me, yeah, if the spoon can stand upright on its own in the scouse, then it's about the right consistency.
Look at that, that's brilliant. Okay.
Mash that in, sir.
Give that a bit of a dip.
Give that a good old dunk in there.
Okay.
Like I said, scouse good for breakfast. Good any meal of the day. How is that?
That is seriously delicious. That's probably the best scouse I've ever had, actually. It tastes absolutely fantastic.
Good, because I was going to retire if that wasn't the answer.
So that's it. That's how you make scouse. It's really simple. It's really straightforward to put together. And what we want to do is set up Global Scouse Day. So on February 28th, Scousers, not just in the city of Liverpool, but from all over the world, can have a day where they can make scouse and call it our own. And this year we've got a lot of restaurants around Liverpool backing us up. They've put scouse on the menu especially, and we're also having a scouse off in which we're going to find out whose mum makes the best scouse in Liverpool. So that should be quite exciting. Details are on the website, globalscouseday.com, and there's also recipes on the website to tell you how to make traditional scouse and how to make blind scouse. So look out for that, and there you go, Global Scouse Day. Well done, Dave.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Let's have some breakfast.
Hey. The potato isn't breaking down so well. So in a way, you could say it was Breaking Bad.